It's okay to get ready. Give to our neighbors.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Bonita Springs. Please join with me in the Lord's Prayer. This is the chant version. It's on page 373. If you have your hymnals handy. Here we go. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we have forgiven our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Welcome, everyone. It's always so nice to look out and see the room filled with bright, sunny faces. And we also want to thank those of you who join us online, and we do appreciate that you choose to spend part of your morning with us also as you enjoy your second cup of coffee and that nice little croissant. So if you are in the area at any point in time, please come join us. We appreciate the fact that you're with us even electronically, but it would be even more wonderful to have you join us. So welcome anytime. And speaking of welcome, do we have anyone or more than one person who is here for the very first time? Oh, thank you so much. Welcome. At the back of the church, there is a place where you may add your name or contact number if you would like, and we would love to follow up with you and continue to offer you a nice warm welcome. Thank you. Our speaker today is going to be Reverend Cheryl Redfern. And I have just a couple of pieces of information about her that I suspect some of you may already know, but I'd love to share them again for those who don't, and again for those who are joining us online. Shell is originally from Wisconsin. She's been here in Florida for, 30-some years now. So, gosh, in Florida, that really is a native. So, so thank you so much. Shell is a certified dream builder coach, an ordained minister for the Centers of Spiritual Living, and past spiritual director of the Center for Spiritual Living in Cape Coral. So thank you so much for sharing your talk with us today. We really do appreciate that. In the event that you have not checked your phones, would you please do that and make sure that they are in their silent mode? And we'll give you just a second to do that. I'm usually the one that I'm in the seat. I'm scrambling to make sure I've turned mine off, so I understand. And would you please join me in repeating both our mission and our vision statements? Together, to invite and inspire spiritual consciousness through unity and its principles. We are love, joy, and acceptance in the world, whoever you are, wherever you are on your spiritual journey. You are welcome indeed, welcome here. As I'm sure all of you are aware, our entire unity philosophy is based on prayer. And so in keeping with that, we always have a prayer box in the front of the podium. There are small pages, piece of paper that you can always write a message on, and we are more than delighted to pray over them with our chaplains here, and that we do that for 30 days, and then we send them out to Unity Village, where they are prayed over there as well. So it's a wonderful way to, make your need known, and then also know that indeed we are giving it consideration for, for that period of time. So if you would please join me in just a very brief recognition and prayer for our wonderful prayer box. Thank you. All right, and our affirmations today will be led by Bill Bosco. Bill, if you'll join us.
Today being the first Sunday of the month, also it's birthday Sunday. So anybody with a birthday in April, want to stand up?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
I'd have thought by now I wouldn't be counting them anymore. Affirmations for April. Inner peace. I allow peace to permeate my being. Together.
I allow peace to permeate my being.
Wisdom. I allow wisdom to reign in my mind. Together.
I allow wisdom to reign in my mind.
Life. I allow life to flow in my body. Together.
I allow life to flow in my body.
Prosperity. I allow abundance to be my experience. Together.
I allow abundance to be my experience.
Order. I allow order in my thoughts. Together.
I allow order in my thoughts.
Today's daily word reading. The heading is Assurance. I live with the assurance of my divinity. There may have been times I doubted my ability to create the life of my highest imaginings and rein myself to living a limited life. Today I make a new choice. I see myself as fully divine and fully human. I am so much more than my past. Even if I have made regrettable decisions or disempowering choices, I have the assurance that with each new day, I can begin again and build the life I want to live. As I pray, I feel the limitations of the world fall away. In the silence, I feel the presence of God and the fullness of my own divinity. This is the enduring truth of who I am. I affirm, I am strong. I am creative. I am wise. I leave the past behind and eagerly create my future, assured of my eventual success. From 1 John. By this we know that we abide in him, and he in us, because he has given us of his Spirit.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. There's a holy hush around us as God's glory fills this place. I've touched the hem of the garment. I can almost see God's face, and my heart is overflowing with the fullness of God's joy. I know without a doubt that I've been with the Lord. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Begin in a comfortable position. Allow your hands to rest gently in your lap or at your sides. And if you're comfortable to do so, please go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and gently release it. Again, inhale fully. Then exhale slowly. Allow yourself to arrive in this moment, just as you are. There's nowhere to be but right here, and nothing to do but breathe. With each breath, feel your body relax a little more. Feel the weight of the past begin to melt away. Let your heart soften. Let your spirit open. And now, in the quiet of this space, repeat silently to yourself, I live with the assurance of my divinity. I live with the assurance of my divinity. You may recall moments when you doubted yourself, when you questioned your strength or your worth, But today, right now, you're choosing something new. So think to yourself with clarity and with love. I see myself as a fully divine and fully human. I see myself as fully divine and fully human. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are a sacred being connected to a higher presence. And with each new day, we're invited to begin anew, to begin again, to dream again, to build again. So let these words settle into your heart. I leave the past behind and eagerly create my future. I leave the past behind and eagerly create my future. Breathe in clarity. Breathe out doubt. Now enter just a short period of silence. Feel your spirit expanding. It is limitless, eternal, and this is your truth. You are held. You are guided. You are divine. Now repeat these affirmations quietly in your mind, letting them anchor in your soul. I am strong. I am creative. I am wise. I am free. I am building the life I want to live. Take one last deep breath in. And as you exhale, bring your awareness back to your body. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes.
Please join with me. I come to the garden alone, while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear calling on my ear, the Son of God discloses. And he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own. And the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. He speaks, and the sound of his voice is so sweet, the birds hush their singing, and the melody that he gave to me within my heart is ringing. And he walks with me, he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own. And the joy we share as we tarry there, none other's ever known. I'd stay in the garden with him, though the night around me be falling. But he bids me go through his voice so low, his voice to me is calling. And he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own. And the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How y'all today?
Good.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. I am so delighted with the reading today. I am. I always ask for it ahead of time so that I can kind of structure the talk around the reading and everything kind of flows together. And you may have recognized some words from the reading in that meditation. And as it turns out, as I was starting to write this talk, I looked at that reading again and I went, well, the talk's right there. The talk is right in that reading. It's a really powerful reading this today. Assurance. I walk with the assurance of my divinity. So I'm a word person. You guys that have seen me here before know that I'm a word person. I like to look up words and find out what they mean and then kind of play off that and learn stuff. And assurance actually would be confidence, right? So another way to phrase that might be, I live with the confidence of my divinity. Well, to me, that if I'm living with the confidence of my divinity, I'm living from a place where I know that I am divine in nature, where I know it, where I move from that place. There is confidence in my action then, because I know who I am and I know whose I am. And the very first sentence then of this reading is kind of interesting. There may have been times I doubted my ability to create the life of my highest imaginings and resigned myself to living a limited life. I'm going to say that we do that not some of the time, but most of the time. Would you agree? I hate to say that because I'd love to consider myself an enlightened being, you know? But if I'm truly living with the assurance that I am divine, I might make a lot of different decisions than I make in life right now. We come here on Sundays and we hang out with high and holy people like y'all do to remind ourselves of that all the time, right? It helps. It helps when we have partners of believing, and you're surrounded by partners of believing here. But the real world doesn't quite work that way. And we haven't been taught to think that way, have we? We haven't been taught to think that we are divine. We haven't been taught to think that we are co-creators with what shows up as our life. In fact, we're taught and generally do look to our circumstances to give us permission to do what we want to do. Now, what do I mean by that? Your circumstances are what's immediately around you, right? Around. So your circumstances are what's immediately around you. So we look to our bank account to see if we can go to Europe, right? We look to our credit score to see if we can get a car loan. We look to, are you with me? That's what I mean. Is that living divinely? Is that knowing that we're co-creators of everything that we see? That's looking to the results of our past thoughts and our past decisions for our future. Now, Mary Morrissey has a really great phrase that I love. And she says, you can live 50 years, or you can live 1 year 50 times. And my friend, those are two very, very different things. And I want to live full out, 50, 60, 80, whatever's mine to live. I don't want to keep making the same decisions. But if we're looking to our circumstances to give us permission to do what's seeking to emerge, we're going to live 1 year 50 times, my friend. We are. So it's looking to that divinity inside of us. It's listening to the voice that's inside of us and not looking out here at all sometimes. Sometimes we got to ignore it's out here so that we really are living from the divine that's going on inside of us. She goes on to say, I don't know if it was a she or he that wrote today's reading, but the writer goes on to say, today I make a new choice. I see myself as both fully divine and fully human. So how do we do this? I have this theory about life. Have I told you my Walt Disney World theory of life yet? Oh, I'm so glad. Okay, so I have a theory that when we're born, we make an agreement. We agree to forget who we are so that we can have an experience as a human being. That we can remember who we are. That the life experience is about remembering that we are divine. I don't know why that is, but I think that's it. Do you know? So, I would compare this to going to Disney World. I really would, and it's what gives us a great analogy to look at where we are in life. Think about it. When we go to Disney World, we forget everything that's going on in our life and we have an experience for a day. Is this true? It's a great escape, isn't it? It's so much fun. We leave everything in the everyday world behind and we go and we have this experience. And during this experience, we do things that we would otherwise consider very, 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 very dangerous. Like, we run up to a 6-foot mouse and we hug them. I would not be doing this in life. I don't like rodents. Ooh. But in Disney World, that's different, isn't it? Because we're there to have an experience. We're there to have fun. We're there, to have fun, literally. So we do a lot of other interesting things. Think about the ride. We go upside down and weightless on purpose. We go in a machine that the floor drops off and we're just against a wall and going on purpose. Jeepers. We, get pulled up to great heights and dropped and call it fun. We're doing that in life too, my friends. We've chosen, for whatever reason, to have this human experience and forget that we're divine and find our way back to the fun. And fortunately, we have places like this that help us do just that. Yes, we are fully human. We're having a human experience. We're having a lifetime that we know has a beginning and an end. Just like that day at Disney. But it doesn't mean that what's in between those two things, that dash in the middle, it can't be fun. But we can't look to our current circumstance and necessarily achieve that. I have a note here and I have it highlighted and I forgot to say it, but I'm going to backtrack a little bit-ish for a minute. What happens as we live a human experience is that we have bigger faith in what's going on outside of us than we have in what's going on inside of us. It shifts somewhere. If you look at kids, they have faith of what's inside of them. Go to McDonald's. Watch kids in the play area. They are our teachers. They are our teachers. You bring kids to McDonald's, and it doesn't matter their sex, their color, their age, their nothing. They get on that toy, and suddenly there's a game going on, isn't there? They're all playing together. They're all playing the same game. Have you seen it? I have. It means we come into life with that as our structure. And somewhere along the line, life teaches us, don't believe what's on the inside, believe what's going on the outside. And the whole journey is to get back to believing what's on the inside. And that's what this reading really speaks to. And so here's the thing. We are living in we have tools. We were born with tools. We came into here with tools to protect this thing called our body. Are y'all familiar with your limbic system? Your limbic system is what gives you feelings, emotions. Or at least it's where the emotions come from. Where does the limbic system get its information from? From what you hear, from what you see, from what you taste, from what you smell? It gets it from the frontal cortex. So this is important for us to know. And I'll tell you why. Because the frontal cortex actually gets the information and it makes a decision about that information, and that decision is what goes to the limbic system, which is what informs us of how to feel. If that makes sense. Are you with me? So we can be watching a movie and the cortex determines it's sad, and the limbic system makes us feel sadness. It's not real. It's a movie, but we'll cry. We see something that startles us. Maybe you hear scratching on the house and build this whole big story about raccoons getting into the house, and the next morning you go out and realize it's a loose screen. And in the meantime, you've terrorized yourself the entire life. So the cortex, there's the sound out here that has no feeling around it. The cortex decides what it is. The limbic system delivers the emotion. It's important for us to understand this. Again, this is an outside-in kind of living. Do you see how that's an outside-in kind of living? And all of that was developed to protect this thing called the human body. It's in place for a reason. It's in place for a reason. But in our current world, we don't need it the way that we used to. And so it's time for us to live from the inside out instead of the outside in. And that's exactly what this reading is getting at. So she goes on to say, I am so much more than my past. So what gives us these responses? What builds these ideas in the frontal cortex? Past experience. Past experience. And the thing is that these past experiences creates filters for us. And sometimes they serve us, but most of the time they don't. because we tend to see the world then through these filters of our past experiences. So, I am so much more than my past. Even if I have made regrettable decisions or disempowering choices, I have the assurance that with each new day, I can begin again and build the life that I want. It's so important for us to become aware of what our filter system is, what's informing our emotions, because our emotions inform our decisions, and that's what creates the next set of circumstances that we see. If we're living from a place of, I am divine in nature, I'm capable of anything and everything, and the entire universe has got my back, that's a different way of living, isn't it? And literally, that's what we're here to do. I believe the currency of God is ideas. And when I say the currency of God, the way God, spirit, life, whatever you want to call it, the way that it speaks to us is with ideas. And the ideas that give us, oh, I would love that, are the ones that are the biggies that we're supposed to be doing. And they're also the ones that your current circumstance is going to say, that's not for you. But it is, or you wouldn't have imagined it. It is for you. This is how Spirit speaks to us. This is how Spirit speaks through us with these ideas that we literally, that's the breath of life, my friend, and life is a synonym for God. And again, nothing out here is going to say it's possible. But that's when it's yours to do. We have lots of tools that the author then gets into. The author tells us how to shift this from being just a response, or actually from being a reaction to a response. You know, the reaction is stimulus comes in, I feel this way, I react in this way. Stimulus comes in, I notice it, and now I decide if I'm going to go there or not. Reaction. Yes? Okay. My husband and I were talking on the way here and trying to decide which thing I wanted to talk about. And I think the thing I'm going to talk about is truck. So I have quite an interesting history. I think we lost everything in the crash. Leland and I met when what we call the crash of our generation, which was, it started here in Florida. I don't know if you were here at the time, but it started here in Florida in about 2006. We were one of the first hit by it, and we were one of the hardest parts of the country hit by it because real estate was such a big thing down here. There's a lot of refinancing going on down here, a lot of scheming, a lot of scams, a lot of stuff. At that time, Leland was an appraiser. I was in marketing. So guess what? He went from doing 3 appraisals a day to 3 a week to 3 a month. And that all happened in a 6-week period of time. Very, very, lots and lots and lots of business, great income going on to 0. What was the first thing that people cut off of their budgets when this started happening? Marketing. My income went from being very good to 0. He had his own home at the time. We weren't married yet. He had his own home at the time. I had my own home at the time. We lost our houses. We sold off every single asset that we had in an effort to not lose our houses. And then we lost our houses too. Got married in the middle of all that mess. Had a potluck wedding. Highly recommend it. So leave the gifts at home, bring a covered dish to share. We had a blast.
Only if your family can cook, though.
Yeah. Only if your family can cook do you do this, he says. He's right. He's right. So our truck broke down and Leland was doing handyman work in tile. And we needed a vehicle that he could do that in. And so he borrowed my brother's truck, which was falling apart. And at this time, we were in serious counseling with the minister at the church. Because how could we see our way out of this? How could we do, I mean, we lost everything. I mean, it was always a determination of which bill were we going to ignore. The electric bill or the water bill, because something was going to get turned off and we had to figure out which one. Which one would make us less comfortable? Literally, that's what it was. You know, $30 a week on groceries to feed 3. That's what it was. And so in the middle of all this, truck breaks down. We borrowed my brother's truck, and that thing was a piece of work. It was awful. But it was a vehicle that got us from A to B sometimes. And it was breaking down constantly too. So we're in counseling with Reverend Emil. And Reverend Emil says to Leland, okay, let's vision your truck up. Let's vision it. What do you want to see? So Leland went home, did his homework as he was supposed to, and visioned up a Toyota 4Runner?
4Runner.
A Toyota 4Runner. And it would run like a top. And in his mind's eye, most likely, it'd have high mileage because we had to be able to afford it. So it'd probably have high mileage. It might have a little bit of rust in it, but it just had to run right. That's what it had to do. And he presents this proudly to Emil, and Emil looks at it and says, "This is your dream?" and Leland's like, "Well, yeah." Because it was so far, even that was so far removed from where we were. And Leland, he said, "That's not your dream. Try again. Try again. And just release everything that you know to be true. Just release all that stuff and try again." So he tried again. And he saw, Ford 350 dually so they could pull stuff. And it would be big, and it would have a nice cab, and okay, that was the dream. Right around this time, the truck breaks again. My brother's truck breaks again. We don't have the money to fix it, and his sister says, "Do you want to borrow my truck? You can borrow it for a while." He said, "Great. This is a dually. What kind?"
Chevy 3500 crew cab dually.
Chevy 3500 crew cab dually, which means, in Shell speak, a huge truck, far more truck than we've ever had. And it had 48,000 miles on it. It was fairly new. And as a diesel, those engines don't even break in until you're at 200,000 miles. So brand new diesel truck that we're borrowing from his sister. He's like, "Hey, I could get into driving something like this. This is kind of cool." And Emil's like, "Hey, now you got a mental equivalent. Isn't this great?" And we're, yeah. Do you know what happened? Within a few weeks, his sister looked at him and said, "You know what? We don't want that truck anymore. If you guys just take over the payments, you can have the truck." We didn't know how we'd do it. That seemed out of the realm of possibility too, but we said we would try. And we did it. That truck was bigger and better than anything Leland had on his radar. It was exactly what we needed to bring our business to the next level. And here, 15 years later, we still have that truck. It's got 300,000 miles on it. It is very, very well taken care of. And it is literally a dream come true. And I tell you this story because that was so far out of the realm of possibility for us. It was so far out of the realm. But I can see where that was the first step. We are very successful contractors now. And that was the first step. He got his license when he threw his shoulder out, tore this all out, and had to be out of work with his arm like this for a month. He made lemonade. He got his contractor license. We're out of the handyman business. We're in construction now. When things are seeking to emerge, we've got to get out of our own way and walk with the assurance and conviction that we are the divine and the entire stinking universe has got our back. Because it does. Because it does. And when we get out of our own way, things come to us in ways we had never, ever imagined. So I said a couple of key things there that I want to bring up. We were in counseling with our minister because we knew that our thinking would turn this around. Honestly, the foreclosure of those houses got rid of a bunch of really messy situations. I mean, I had a bunch of squatters at my house, and I didn't know how to tell them to leave. But saying my house is foreclosed gave me an out that was actually cleaner than saying, hey, you guys gotta go. And when I realized that that was the cleanest, fastest, most effective way for the universe to clean up the mess that I had made of my life, I went, oh, the universe does have my back. Holy smokes, it looks like and it feels like chaos, but it's not. This is the cleanup of what I made, and it's the opening of new doors for me again. It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. So if you're having problems seeing your own divinity, see one of us ministers. I can see it in you so clearly from where I'm standing. I can see it in each and every one of you. You are the divine embodied. I can tell you that with confidence, with huge confidence. And hopefully if I say it enough, you're going to know it with confidence as well. Seek out your chaplains. Pray with them. She goes on to say, as I pray, I feel the limitations of the words, as I pray, I feel the limitation of the world fall away. Pray with the chaplains. Put your prayers in this. It's all vibration, it's all energy, and it all works. I'm proof. It all works. Take advantage of that. In this silence, I feel the presence of God and the fullness of my own divinity. This is the enduring truth of who I am. It's encouraging you to meditate, even if it's for 1 minute, even if it's for 30 seconds. Just stop. Just stop. Take a deep breath in. I am divine. Just feel it. Just feel it, if only for a moment. And if you can go longer than a minute, do that. That's what meditation is about. It's about connecting with the divinity that is within you and letting it flow by means of you. She gives us some affirmations. Affirmations. She gives us some affirmations. So let's practice this. I am strong. I am creative. I am wise. You guys can have a little bit more conviction. Let's practice this again. I am strong. I am creative. I am wise. Now, what is an affirmation? An affirmation is a mini prayer. That's what an affirmation is. It's a mini prayer. And if you start feeling like you're living from the world around you, the world of circumstance, and you want to be living from a different place, start to affirm something when you feel those feelings. Well, nope. I am strong. I am creative. I am wise. I can make good choices. I can make good discernments. And start telling yourself a new story. Because the thing about that limbic system and the frontal cord, it starts telling the story of your life and you start believing it. But we control the story. Tell yourself a different story. The universe, the entire stinking universe, has got my back. That's a big deal. The last thing that she says is, I leave the past behind and eagerly create my future. So let's leave the past behind. Let's not look to the circumstances for permission. I leave my past behind and eagerly create my future, assured of my eventual success. Because it is yours, as long as you know it is. And even sometimes when you don't. But then you lean into people like your ministers and your chaplains, because we will know that for you and with you. Do that. Do that. That's why we're here. I want to close today with a reading. I love closing with readings. And this one actually is, it's called The Teaching of Children and the Prayer of Faith. And it's by Myrtle Fillmore. It's actually a transcript of a recording, and I don't know if it was during a Sunday celebration or where it came from. The actual prayer that's in here is by a woman named Hannah Moore Cohouse. It's a beautiful prayer. So here's how it goes. We must learn to know that God is spirit and that his spirit within us is a motive power which carries us forward in every department of our daily living. Isn't that great? Children should be taught that God is spirit and that their purpose of being is to express God. I think adults need to be taught that too. Adults should be taught that God is spirit and that the purpose of their being is to express God. They should be trained in the faith and understanding which makes them know that they express the Spirit of God in every thought and every desire and every action. So if we know that we are expressing the thoughts of God in every thought, desire, and action, because I think another word for God is yes. So those repeated thoughts that we are having, Spirit's going, that's what you really want? Okay, yes. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? The child's mind accords perfectly with true ideas, and it's easy to rear children in the conscious unity with God when they are encouraged through their faith to claim their sonship. Same holds true for us. Teach them to pray this prayer of faith. God is my help in every need. God does my every hunger feed. God walks beside me, guides my way through every moment of the day. I now am wise, I now am true, patient, kind, and loving too. All things I am, can do, and be through Christ the truth that is in me. God is my health, I can't be sick. God is my strength, unfailing, quick. God is my all, I know no fear, since God and love and truth are here. Amen.
Okay, please sing this along with me. This little light of mine. We're going to sing this because we are divine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. When in doubt and darkness, I'm gonna let it shine. When in doubt and darkness, I'm gonna let it shine. When in doubt and darkness, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. When I need an answer, I'm gonna let it shine. When I need an answer, I'm gonna let it shine. When I need an answer, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. In all my daily living, I'm gonna let it shine. In all my daily living, I'm gonna let it shine. In all my daily living, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Because we're divine.
Would you please join me in our offering blessings with our blessers? Please come forward as we do this. Divine love,
Bless and multiply all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you.
So speaking a word of blessing over the offering here, knowing together that this tithe, these tithes, these gifts, these offerings, they have been given in the spirit of love. They have been received in the spirit of love. And in this love, they will grow and expand and do great things for the giver, for the receiver, through multiple receivers as we spread them out into the world. So I speak a word of blessing for the giver. I speak a word of blessing for us as we receive these gifts, knowing good and more good is the result of this law of circulation today. I'm grateful, and so it is. Amen.
Yeah, I've just been thinking as we were listening to our talk, and being expressions of spirit is really what we are all about. And so I'm just thinking as we're going into this part of the service where we talk about, the events that are coming up, the possibilities for joining in activities and so forth. What an absolute blessing it is. And as we go through each one of these topics with how we can show our light, how we can join in with others, It's just so amazing that regardless of what may be going on in our individual immediate exterior, when we come to our place of faith in this church and as we participate, how it really just reminds us again, the universe does have our back. So today, Bill Bosco will be our prayer chaplain, and by all means, if you feel any need whatsoever, it is just so beautiful to know that when we individually are at a point where we may be a little shaky in what is happening in our lives, there's always someone who will hold that higher ground for us and help us to realize that indeed we do have the ability to join in with Spirit in creating all that we experience. And Bill will be our prayer chaplain. He is always up here after the service, and indeed we always invite you to take advantage of that support. Well, as always, we have our coffee and conversation out on the lanai after the service, and again, it's a wonderful time to get together and just enjoy fellowship, and by all means, please come out after the service and have a little fun with us. In terms of upcoming events and everything, all right, we have our drumming circle on the 9th, which will be at 2:30 p.m. And again, I can't go through all of these things that we have going on without thinking how blessed we are to have so many volunteers doing and helping with so many things. And in keeping with that, we certainly appreciate when there is a special event like this. Any love offering that you can bring and give certainly supports all of these efforts. Deborah Marino, who shares her beautiful voice and music with us from time to time, is going to be doing a service on, a concert, on April the 12th at 7 p.m. Jerry, where is that? Do you know where the concert is that Deborah's going to be doing those?
I used to say it.
Is that at the coffee shop near the tax collector's office, right? Is that the one?
It's near the desk, right?
Okay. Well, we'll get more information on that and make sure we know where to go to join Deborah.
Well, she'll be here next Sunday. So she'll be here next Sunday.
Oh, great.
We'll
Okay.
get her to explain it. No,
We will do that for sure. Her music is absolutely not to be missed, so that's wonderful. The writers group that we have here will be on the 15th, and that is at 1:30. Board of Trustees meeting will be April 17th at 10 a.m. And again, we certainly invite everyone to come and learn more about the process of how our Unity Fellowship works, and coming and being a part of the Board of Trustees meeting is certainly a wonderful possibility, and really learning more about how we work, so to say how we operate. I'm not sure that's the right word or not, but at any rate, they're always open. Our Easter potluck on April the 20th will be following the service. And thankfully for Easter, there's always a nice congregation, and it will be a potluck, meaning bring something that you can share and that we can enjoy together. From what I understand, I think someone is preparing a ham, if I'm not mistaken, right? So I always personally feel a little better if I sort of know what's going on. So maybe we could keep a sign-up sheet outside so that if you know what you're bringing, then we can know where to fill in and do that. And please also be aware, again, that this entire potluck is done by volunteers. And so before the service, we need help in cleaning off the tables and chairs and so forth, and getting set up. And because it will be a little more involved than just our normal coffee and conversation, by all means, if you can stay and help us clean up, that is a wonderful service that you can certainly provide for us, and we certainly need it. Support groups. The cancer support group will be April the 21st at 1 p.m. The grief group is April the 26th at 8:30 a.m. And Jerry, with his wonderful, if you have not seen, this, all that jazz, it's absolutely great. So Jerry will be doing that down in Naples on April the 23rd. There are 2 shows, one at 6 o'clock and one at 8:30. And then weekly meditation every Thursday afternoon here in the sanctuary. And Daisy, of course, always leads that. So anytime you can join that, it is such a blessing. Would you please stand, and we will join in our peace song.
Now there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me. Now there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God has the power, loved ones all are we. Now I walk with my family in perfect harmony. Peace has begun with me, and this is the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joy is found. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Now there is peace on earth, and with me.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God upholds us. The power of God watches over us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Amen.